So greetings students, today we'll be learning about the chapter electricity. So in this chapter we'll be seeing the different misconceptions we usually have and how to break them. So first let's start with the topic. The topic of our chapter is electricity. What are the objectives here? First we'll be seeing what is the difference between charges and electric current. Then we'll be seeing the difference between how the potential difference is caused by the battery. And at last we'll see what is actually resistance. And then it will be subdivided into the series connection and the parallel connection. So before beginning the chapter, let's see the history which electricity is having. It's having a very wide history. About in the year 1752, a great scientist, Benjamin Franklin, was supposed to have experienced this electric current for the first time and noted down the experimental activity for giving the actual presence of electric current. So you can see here on the diagram, you can see to collect the electric charges, we have the kite experiment here. This experiment is actually known as the kite experiment. So we can see it is having a point in the top where the electric current from the clouds which are experiencing the thunderstorm or this thundering. So the kite will be flown near to that, and then it will be collected from the top, which is the conductor. And then this is a very primitive type of experiment. So only a little resources were available at that time, and using that it was made. So at last you can see a keyring is being attached down, so that conductor is actually helping us to trap the electricity. So using this, he did not publish his own name. It is supposed that he has performed, that is Benjamin Franklin, and then it aroused the interest of many different scientists about electricity in the scientific world. So this is one picture, and then this is another historical picture we can see here. So that time the phenomena or the kite experiment was such a huge success that even artists started painting his pictures. Okay, so the first thing, what is electric charges? So most of us, when we see this word, we just imagine or just go to the direct answer that it is negative and it is positive. Okay, we just stop at this point. But science is not about only facts. We have to know what is giving rise to that and what actually charges are. So when we see what is charges, it is just a property of matter. It is not a substance itself. It is a property of matter, and due to which it is experiencing some forces in the electromagnetic field. So this is actually a property and not a substance in itself. Okay, then we have electric current, which is the next word when we think about after we see the charges. Electric current or electricity. So what is the difference between them? Okay, so this is, I told you, the property of matter. So this must be little different than what this is actually. Okay, so when I see the structure of atoms, so I have the nucleus and electrons keep on revolving around them in the orbitals which is specified. Okay, so it is very difficult for us to remove the positive charges which are present in the nucleus in the form of proton. Neutrons are neutral, so we don't have to worry about them here. and the negative charges which is present in the electrons are present on the electrons which are orbiting around the orbitals. So whenever they are being lost or gained, we see an excess of positive charge or lesser of the positive charge, which will in turn give those atoms a positive or negative charge. Okay, so this is one thing. So now we know what is the meaning of charge. So when I just draw charges like this, or the positive charges, if there is no inbuilt tendency of these charges to move around, if they are for that particular moment stationary and stagnant, they are just simply told as charges. Then due to different conditions, if the charges are able to move or show some kind of movement, they constitute by their tendency, inbuilt tendency of movement, the flow of electricity. Okay, so mostly so I am writing here negative here. So why negative and why not positive? So it is again, the answer is there in the structure of the atom. When we see the nucleus and then we see the orbitals around them, it is very easy for us to remove the electrons due to different conditions, like because of bonding or because of just being dissolved in water. So it is very easy for the atom to lose the electrons, since it is far away from the attraction, little bit far away from the attraction force of the nucleus. While if I want to remove the positive charges and make them move, it is quite difficult for me, because the protons are bonded very tightly to each other. So when I want positive or negative charges in the single atom, it is difficult for me to show the movement of positive charges. So we get only, usually in the normal conditions of energy, temperature and pressure, we just get the flow of electrons or the negative charges. So electricity is also can be termed as flow of electrons, or I can just tell it like flow of okay. So superficially, if I want to differentiate between charges, that is electric charges, and electric current, I can just tell the major point here that charges are stagnant and electricity is flowing, or the charges are flowing in there. So this is the first thing. So in this video, we can see how the electrons are moving from one orbital to another and in turn constituting the electricity. So you can see in this picture here, the violet color representing the electrons and the red color sphere representing the nucleus of the atom. Okay, so now I hope the difference between charges and electric current is clear. Next we have to move on to the next term, which is very important in the chapter electricity, that is potential difference. So the most easy device to create potential difference in a given circuit is a battery. So most of us are very familiar with a single cell or the connections of many single cells to constitute the battery. So we can see a battery is having two terminals, the one which is on the top and heightened, so that is the positive one, and then at the bottom we have the negative. Okay, so this is the very common device to create the potential difference. Now we have to understand how the potential difference is created in a given circuit. So as we are aware that a battery is constituting of some chemicals, these chemicals when connected in circuit will help us to create an accumulation of negative and positive charges in the respective electrodes. So in this particular diagram we can see the accumulation of the positive and the negative charges due to the connection of the battery in the circuit. So you can see here the blue dots representing, the blue spheres representing the electrons. So the electrons are moving from the negative terminal and then going on to fill up the empty spaces or the hollow spheres which are present towards the positive side. So these can actually be told as the atoms which are lacking the electrons, or just we can tell them as positive accumulation of the positive charges. Okay, so a potential difference is created by a battery by just some chemical reactions which are helping in the accumulation of the positive charges in one side of the electrode and the negative charges towards the other side. So when it is connected in a circuit, and the circuit is completed with the battery also, and then we have a switch. When the switch is closed, we get the completed circuit, and the accumulation of the charges can now move on to constitute the electricity. So this is how a potential difference is created by a battery. Potential difference is represented by the letter V. The SI unit for potential difference is volts, which is also represented by a capital V. The instrument used for measuring the potential difference is voltmeter, which is always connected in parallel. Here also we'll see for electric current, the SI unit is ampere, represented by a capital A. Electricity is represented by I. The instrument used for measuring electricity is ammeter, which is always connected in series. The next thing we have to know about is resistance. So as you must be aware of the Ohm's law, so in this Ohm's law, there is a connection between the potential difference and the electric current, that is, it is directly proportional. To remove the proportionality sign, we introduce a constant which is R. So R is our resistance here, and we are getting R from a good connection from this Ohm's law. So I can just write here R is equal to potential difference by electric current. Okay, so many of you would be having a little difficulty in understanding what is resistance actually. So resistance is the opposition to the flow of the electrons in a given circuit, or in a given conductor or resistors. This can be illustrated by a diagram. So this animation is very clearly showing us how the resistance is working in a given circuit. So when the voltage is applied, that is the potential difference creation using a battery, if the electrons are now able to move, there is always an inbuilt tendency of a material to resist the flow. So it is like when you are walking or having a race in the track, if there are hurdles, it is always difficult for us to overcome the hurdles. So resistance is also like that hurdles which are placed in our running tracks. Now we have to understand there are two connections of resistors possible, that is resistance in parallel and resistance in series. So we'll see how the relationship is working there. First one is resistors in series. So now in this given circuit, I have two resistors connected in series. A series connection will mean that a single circuit wire is running through or connecting all the three resistors. So I have a battery here, which is positive terminal here and negative terminal here. Flow of electrons will happen from the negative terminal towards the positive terminal, but the conventional flow of electric current is represented by this arrow, which is from the positive terminal of the battery towards the negative terminal. Okay, so when a single wire is used to connect all the three resistors in a given circuit, we call it as resistors in series. So if I use a different color to represent the flow of electrons, just imagine that we are having 3 electrons in this given circuit. And when the circuit is completed, they start to flow. So all the 3 electrons will be collected here at this point. Now since they are having only one passage, the same 3 electrons will cross over all the 3 electrons and arrive at the other side of the circuit, that is this side, and will get the same current. So here if I represent the current here, which is represented by the 3 green dots, the same current is flowing here also, and this side also I get the same current, since I get all the 3 dots on the other side also. So one thing is very clear here, in resistors connected in series, I is always constant. Okay, so from the Ohm's law we know that this is the relationship. Our R can be represented as Rs. So I want to calculate what will be the total resistance if I connect different resistors in series. So for this, since R is constant, obviously the voltage should vary across each resistor. So I can represent this as V1 plus V2 plus V3. It can also be written using the Ohm's law as and the whole V can also be represented as the multiplication of current and the resistance. Okay, so taking common, I can just cut the electric current, which is common in both sides. This can be eliminated and this can also be eliminated, since they are same variables on the both sides. So this gives me the relationship, which is R1 plus R2 plus R3. So now I can understand, in the resistors, when the resistors are connected in series, the total sum of the whole resistance in that given circuit is the individual sum of each of the resistors. So this can also give an idea that the total resistance in the resistors connected in series is always greater than individual resistors' resistance. So because of this, this relationship is also termed as maximum resistance. Then we have the other one, that is resistors in parallel. So for the same circuit, only when I am connecting the resistors, it will have different connections. That simple circuit again broken up into 3 different connections to adjust the resistors to have them in parallel connection. So again, if I use the same green dots to represent my electrons, so here I have the positive terminal here, negative terminal on this side. So the conventional electricity will be in this side, and if I want to show the electricity, I'll use, for example, as 3 electrons which are constituting my electricity in here. So when the same 3 electrons are flowing and coming to this point, at this point, that is, let us name it A, they are having 3 choices. Now they are having 3 paths to flow in, so it is their choice based upon the resistance of each of the resistors. They can flow in any path. So let's name this. For example, let's consider that each of the electron has chosen one separate path. They have crossed the resistors and arrived at the other side. At point B, that is on this side, all the 3 electrons again will have to come to the same path. Okay, so I can tell here at point A, the I is represented by capital I, and this side also the same I is there, that is same electricity is on the point B also. But in here, if I can divide it and write, I obviously know that in this area, or this place also, it has been decreased. So I'll label them as I1, I2 and I3. So this is giving us a clear idea that why electricity differs in the parallel connection. So, but for us in this total circuit, the potential difference remains constant, since across each resistor also the multiplication result of the current and the resistance will remain constant. That will give us a constant value for the potential difference also. But only I is differing here, so I can write I is equal to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Again using the Ohm's law, which is V equal to IR. I want it in terms of I, so I'll just V by R. Okay, so if I want to represent it, substitute it and represent in the first equation, that is this one, so I can write R3. This also can be represented by the total resistance in the parallel connection, and then I can take the V common, since it can be eliminated as it is both sides the same variable. So after eliminating it, we get the value of Rp. So the thing we see here is that after I do the reciprocal, I'll get the value of this. So I have to do the calculation for this, do the reciprocal and then get the value of Rp. So this relationship is telling me here that if I am putting something in denominator or something is divided, it always gives a very low value. So this is giving me an idea that it is always lower than each of the resistors individually connected. So this is also known as minimum resistance. So what is the advantage of resistors in parallel? One thing is that we commonly see that in our houses many devices are running from with the use of electric current. So if I have connected a bulb which takes up very little electricity compared to a fridge, okay, and then again a TV also, if everything is connected together with a single source of potential difference, their need is different, but still if I connected them in series, they get the same electricity or the same potential difference, and it is not an advisable way, since it gives us different it needs different values, and hence it can be connected in parallel, where based on the requirement the different quantities will vary. Okay, so this is a better way. Second thing is that if one of the component, for example, if the bulb is broken here, it was glowing, but due to some technical issues, it has stopped, it has broken. So if the current which was supposedly flowing from this direction to the another one, if this connection is broken in the tungsten or in the filament, the flow of electric current will stop here, and it will not allow it to flow to the other components as well. So for us, the better connection is a parallel connection. Even if the filament of the bulb is broken here, it can still flow to the other parts. So this is second advantage. Third advantage, series connection gives a very large amount of resistance, while parallel connection will give minimum resistance possible. Thank you.